When you say the word sword and shield, what first comes into your mind? Knights, cool warriors, Final Fantasy. Tell that to any Pokemon fan and you'll point them to the worst Pokemon game of all time. The competitive side of Sword and Shield is one of the best, if not the best if you ask me, but the downfall is that it was one of the worst Pokemon experiences of all time. There was less Pokemon in the game, less moves in the game, the routes feel laughably short, the graphics were awful, the story was a mix of fan game but bad, and most importantly, Game Freak took the DLC and sold them as $30 just to get more cash. You have cat to be kidding me. BDSP looked like a better version of Diamond and Pearl, but it was ridiculed with glitches upon glitches upon glitches, and now that the patches are out, I can safely say that BDSP does not deserve the hate it gets. But don't get me wrong, I wish there was like all the Pokemon in there, kind of like what they did with Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but at least there's a permanent way to get Arceus. Which brings us to this game. Around the announcement of BDSP was Pokemon Legends Arceus. I was skeptical of this game. I just finally opened my eyes after watching Radical Silver's Pokemon Sword and Shield review and realized how bad the Pokemon series had been heading towards. And looking at some of the games, the magic can die down if you can look past the curtains and mirrors that they're trying to hold up. But Legends Arceus? This game looked exactly what I was looking for, ever since I was a child. Roots that feel like the anime. That's the one thing that I always wanted in a Pokemon game. It had everything. The beautifully designed monsters, the fun and memorable characters, the epic, head-banging music, like, just listen to frickin' this! Get back to the review already, get back to the review already! But all that was missing was the roots of the game. They felt too short, they felt linear. So as more and more details of Legends Arceus kept getting released, I was hyped for it and still skeptical of the game. Until the game is finally out. Was it the masterpiece I've been waiting for in a Pokemon game for years? Or was this game just a big old disappointment? I'm Cat, and today we'll review Pokemon Legends Arceus. I'm so glad I finally have another review out, and I'm glad this didn't take a full year to make. But without further ado, members of Team Shadow, video game enthusiasts from all over the world, both old and new to my YouTube channel, who want to see if this game is worthy of your wallet or not, let's get started! The story of Pokemon Legends Arceus goes as follows. One day, you, as the main character, wake up to see God speaking to you. He gives you an assignment to seek out all Pokemon, and changes your phone into the Arc phone, before sending you back in time into the land of Hisui. You then wake up to see Professor Lavington and 3 starter Pokemon, that being Oshawott, Cyndaquil, and Rowlet. After you capture them, he seems to be amazed by your amazing catching skills, even though it is considered normal for you, because, you know, you probably played a Pokemon game before. So you take the Pokemon back to the professor, and he brings you to the Galaxy Expedition Team, where you then become a member of the Galaxy Expedition Team to research Pokemon. That is, until next day after you're recruited, where lightning strikes a tree. It turns out that the noble Pokemon, guardians of the Diamond and Pearl clans, are going haywire, and you have to stop them. So you create these bombs, but let's be honest, they might as well be called weed, and throw at them. And from that day forward, after you save Cleavor, your mission is as follows. Go around Hisui, collect any Pokemon you can, research their behavior and stuff like that, while at the same time, stop these frenzied noble Pokemon before they go out of control and ruin the land of Hisui. And that's pretty much it to the end of the story, where everything changes. After you save the last noble Pokemon, that being a giant iceberg, the sky starts to distort into this hexagon-like pattern. You were then banished from the Galaxy Expedition Team after being suspicious of coming from the portal in the sky. You then meet some waifu material who tells you about the lead chain. Afterwards, you go through the trials of Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf before they give you parts of their bodies for them to form the red chain for you. After finding Commander Komodo and proving that you're here to save the world, you fight either Dialga or Palkia, depending on which person you picked near the beginning of the last arc of the game. And then after you capture them, the opposite Pokemon appears, revealing to be the one Pokemon that's distorting space or time. You then craft the Origin Ball and head back up to Mount Coronet, where you fight the frenzied Dialga or the frenzied Palkia. Sending out their opposite counterpart, they create an explosion to create the most coolest place in Pokemon, Sphere Pillar, before transforming into their origin form. After capturing them inside the origin ball, the day is saved, as you are unfortunately forever trapped inside the past, but you seem to not mind, as you head on to a glorious festival. Overall, I really enjoyed this story. Even though I spoofed on it in my Let's Play, I really liked the characters in the game. However, I do believe that after the second or third frenzied Pokemon you save, it does get a little downhill to go to the point where it's been there, done that. The only thing that saves the game at the end is the ending, where things really picked up. I kind of wish that over time the sky would start to distort more and more and more before it touches the hexagonal wasteland that you see near the end of the game. That would have maybe brought the game to a little bit more suspicious, so some of the characters would be like, have anyone noticed that the sky's been going a little bit weird lately? And they pay no mind to it, but they still keep an eye on it until it eventually gets to the point where everything's like distorted at the end. That's the only thing I would change in the story, but other than that, not bad, not bad. However, the one thing that I don't like about the story has to do with the coin thief bandit things. The 3 clovers add nothing to the story. Aside from the Arcanine story, take them out of the story and you would not miss anything. They're just there to get in the way, and that's it. Worst team ever. These are supposed to be the villain team of the story. Remember Team Rocket when they were a mafia organization that captured and sold Pokemon? Remember Team Plasma when they tried to liberate humans and Pokemon so Getsus can take over the world? Remember Team Galactic who tried to rewrite reality itself to create a perfect world without hatred and malice? Remember Team Flare wanted to destroy the world because no one liked their fashion? Remember Team Skull just doing what the hell they want because they're Team Skull? Remember Team Yell simping over a girl? Remember Team Aqua and Magma trying to expand the land or water of the region? Do you know why those teams are memorable? And minus Flare? It's because they're more interesting and more fun and they do more in the story. Not the 4-leaf clovers. They just appear, battle, and leave. They don't reappear until chapter 3, and then they're gone for 2 chapters. And then the final arc, they battle you one more time, and then they piss off. Why? We do learn that some of them are from the Diamond and Pearl clan, but other than that, they add nothing to the story. I did like Indigo though. I wish they did more with him, but it basically confirms that more characters aside from you are being sent back to this land of Hisui. If you don't know who Indigo is, he's one of the secret bosses in Pokemon Black, White, and Black 2 and White 2, and he is a fun character here. That aside, the story for the most part was enjoyable, so therefore, I give the story a rank B. I would have put it to an A or a perfect S rank, but the clovers really bring down the story a lot, and I wish it did more with the sky being distorted. But other than that, pretty good for a Pokemon game. If you look at any Pokemon media, they have one of the prettiest art styles you've seen ever. From the books to the animes to the games, not one of them looks bad. Except when Sword and Shield started to come to the picture. Everything looks like the Ocarina of Time tree, and that's not good. And don't get me wrong, Legends Arceus does have its bad graphical moments. Like I can actually see the pixels on Professor Laffington's hat. In the daytime, the game looks butt ugly. Still pretty good, but kinda wish it looked like Super Mario Odyssey. Strangely enough, it's the nighttime that makes the game look breathtaking. I don't know what it is with Pokemon at night, but the game looks strangely beautiful. Although it is not without its faults though. There are some moments where you can see the player model's outline completely white out in dark environments like caves or the ocean, trying to place your characters in there. And it just stands out like a sore thumb, like Game Freak. Game Freak. You are the most multi-million-dollar company in the entire world right now, next to Nintendo. So, you mean to tell me that you can't fix this little outline glitchy thing? Are you serious? This is not a green screen. This is a 3D model in a 3D map. Something like this just doesn't happen. But that aside, the art style for what it does is acceptable. Some of them are fine, some of them are really cool looking, some of them just appear out of nowhere. And the space-time distortion graphics are Well, I mean, they just dimmed the area a bit, but I love the way they look. So I'm gonna give the art style a B rank as well. If they fix the little white outline problem and maybe make the graphics look a lot better instead of it coming straight from a 3DS game, I would have given the art style an A rank. But it's the nighttime setting that makes the art style perfect. If it wasn't for that, I'm pretty sure the game would have had a C rank art style. Next up, the meat and potatoes of video games. The gameplay! This has got to be one of, if not the best Pokemon gameplay I've ever seen in my entire life. So, Pokemon! It's pretty much just like Pokemon. You run around, you jump. Wait, you jump?! No, you do a little dash roll to avoid Pokemon attacks. It's not used much unless you're encountering alpha Pokemon or Pokemon that randomly attack you for no reason, and the boss battles, which we'll get to later. You can also interact with NPCs, pick up items, and yep, that's it. Oh, wait, I got you! This is Legends Arceus here. You can throw out your Pokemon for them to stand around and just look awesome. It's really cute how the AI just makes Pokemon talk to each other. And I've seen some very funny videos where it can get some really comedic moments. Like this one right here. But to be honest, it's just there to look cute. There's nothing beneficial from these throwing out your Pokemon and just having them stand there aside from thumbnail shots. But once we move out of the town, we can get into the meat and potatoes of this game. Behold the roots of the game. Rather, there are no roots in the game. You get 5 giant areas. And unlike past Pokemon games, they're not really connected to anything. The way they handle it is more like Monster Hunter, to be honest with you, where each area is just one big location, but every one of them is a different location. Let's go over them, shall we? But first, let's get some of the basic controls out of the way before I accidentally forget. Okay, what do we get down? We got running, talking, picking up items, and the dodge attack. Okay, what's next? Well, you can also crouch and hide in grasses, so that way some Pokemon won't notice you. In my experience, they pretty much notice me a lot. You know, the AI is just way upscaled and it knows the player's location 100% of the time, or I just suck at hiding. But once you have Pokemon in your sight, you can do one of 4 things. 1. You can throw food at it. 2. You can throw stuffs like mud and sticky webs to lower their defense and make them easier to catch. 3. You can throw a Pokeball at them to attempt to catch them, but unfortunately this does not work with alpha Pokemon. Trust me, I tried. I'm gonna lure them out with some raspberries. Come on. Come on. Excellent. Excellent. Oh, come on. You stupid bug. And 4, you can throw your Pokeball at him to activate a battle. Here's a little tip for all of you who hasn't seen that Snorlax video, but if you throw the Pokeball at them behind the back, you can catch them easier or have them be caught off guard and you have an extra turn. Which brings us to the Pokemon battles, and they really made me put thought into this. If I could pick a word to describe the way they did the battles, I would have to say Octopath Traveler. In that game, you could see what turn orders happen, and depending on what attacks you use, or if you break their shield, you could either gain an extra turn, or you can prevent your opponent from battling. Here, it kind of works the same way, where you can pick up any move you want, whether that be healing moves, stat moves, attacking moves, moves to protect yourself, all that stuff. It's classic Pokemon. But they add 2 ways of attacking. You can do the normal Pokemon route, or you can put some strategy in there by using Strong Style or Agile Style. Strong Style is pretty powerful and it will allow you to hit heavy damage, but at the cost that the opponent gets an extra turn, while Agile Style does weaker damage, but you get an extra turn instead. Every time I'm into these battles, whether that be with a wild Pokemon or a Pokemon trainer, I really had to step back and think, what attacks will work with well? Because yes, I know what attacks are super effective, not very effective, stuff like that, but could I try to do smaller damage and risk getting an extra turn, or could I try to one-shot it, but at the risk of my Pokemon dying more often? These 2 moves, something so small that I did not think much of, when I first saw the trailers, as we played so much into them because it could change the tides of a battle. I actually almost lost a couple of times, and that's another thing I want to say. The weaker Pokemon, the stronger Pokemon, the Pokemon trainers, all of them nearly kicked my ass. Every time I got into a fight, I had a full team of Pokemon, a full team of 6, each and every one of them ready for battle. And when I got out of the battle, I barely walked away with my twin tails on fire. I'm talking only 2 Pokemon were left alive. Sometimes even 1, which is actually great. It shows that the game does not hesitate to punish you. If you're not paying attention, you're not using the styles effectively, you could lose that battle, causing you to get a game over. Well, there's no game overs in Pokemon, and when you lose, you actually are still in the route. It's just you can't fight any Pokemon anymore. As for trainer battles, I guess the game, I think I only lost to 1 trainer battle. Even then it was like a trial from Yuxi, but it just says, try and fight again with a stronger Pokemon team. I like this battle system. This is so cool. And somehow, walking around with no Pokemon is even better because now I have a higher chance of dying. Your trainer themselves has a health points bar. It's secretly hidden and it does not affect battle, but it does affect the overworld. If you jump off a high cliff, or you drown too much, or you get attacked by Pokemon too much, you will black out and lose a couple of items, causing you to drop a satchel. Unfortunately, you cannot recover your own satchel. You have to rely on your friends to recover their own satchel. But what are satchels for? It's for something that I am very happy with. New to Pokemon Legends Arceus are the BP. What's BP, you ask? I did not pay attention, but I can only assume bag points since you're picking up bags and you get points for them. But what do you use these BPs for? You can use them to trade in the BP shop, allowing you to get some items. You know, generic stuff like Pokeballs, revives, maybe some mud every now and then. But this is the real reason why you should use BP. You can get evolution stones, evolution items, and link cables, which you can use to evolve link trading Pokemon. Thank you! You have no idea how pissed I was when I got a Haunter and only to discover that I could only evolve if I had to trade with a friend. Do you know how much that sucks? What if I don't have another 3DS on me, or a friend who likes Pokemon? Or what if that friend is off in another town? It's just so annoying. I mean, these days it's easier to connect to your friend thanks to the magic of the internet, but what if they don't have internet? This link cable solves everything. Now I can get traded evolution Pokemon that I've been always wanting my entire life and officially add them to the Pokédex. And speaking of Pokemon, let's finally talk about the areas in the game that you can catch Pokemon in. The Obsidian Fieldlands is the tutorial part of the game, and you won't be coming back to it much unless you want to capture some of the alpha Pokemon after you beat the game. It is here you get Wheeldeer, which is basically the bike in the game. Allows you to run, jump, and be fist. But for the love of God, do not jump off of cliffs. You are not invincible. Also, you'll be drowning here a lot. The Crimson Mirelands is up next. It's one of the most memorable locations in my opinion. There's the Unknown Cave, a bunch of marshlands, and most importantly of all, a dancing Pokemon. Oh. She's quite lovely. Huh. Are we sure this isn't a frenzy? Are you positive? It doesn't look like a frenzy to me. Oh, never mind, the music's kicking up, it's definitely a frenzy. It's here that you also get Ursaring, which is a worse version of Wheeldeer if you want to go fast. However, he is able to uncover hidden items for you, whether that be stuff like Pokeballs, revives, or even secret verses that expand the lore of the game. Next up, your drowning nightmares are over with the Cobalt Coastlands, a crescent moon-like structure with a giant volcano on the side of it. It is there that you get Basculegion, where you have the ability to swim. I don't know about you, but this is gonna be the funnest swimming mechanic I have in my entire life. Don't get me wrong, Lapras and Sharpie were fun in Sun and Moon, and I did like what they did with the bike thing in Sword and Shield, but this is my preferred way of swimming. There's also a minigame here. There are a few minigames throughout the game, but I only played one of them. They're pretty fun, not gonna lie. But anyways, back to this. Tornet Highlands is going to be one of the most important places in the game, but for the most part of it, it's just the area where you catch the third Pokemon. It's just a giant mountain, and Mount Coronet is nowhere near as tall as I can imagine it to be. In the original Diamond and Pearl and Platinum games, the mountain was so high up that you could barely see the sky below you, as it was creepy and purple. But I guess after the remix came out, it's just sky. The 3Ds games kind of ruined Mount Cornet for me. But it's there that you'll get the best Poke Waifu of the hour, Sneasler, which allows you to play as a Pokemon and climb up mountains. Finally, we have the Abyssal Icelands. Finally! This one is an eye pleaser because throughout the entire game, you'll see green, green, brown, green. It's so nice to see blue and white all over the place. This frozen tundra has a giant ice cube in the middle and allows you to get the bird Braviary, Hatsurian Braviary to be exact, which allows you to fly throughout the game. Okay, it's not really flying. You get to fly for like a few seconds and then you slowly glide down. It's more of a slow descent. If you don't know how to comprehend that, then just play around a Fortnite. You're basically gliding on a glider. There is one more location in the game called Ancient Retreat, but it's basically where the Pokemon flies, and the only reason to go back there is for the secret legendaries in the post-game, which I will not be talking about in this review because I have not been in the post-game at the time of this recording. And of course, you have Jubilife Village, which will eventually become Jubilife City. For being the only town in the game, there's not really much to do, aside from a few missions here and there. You can receive missions from the Galaxy Expedition team, level up your ranking if you have enough points, and of course you can go to Dr. Phil's Ranch to switch out your Pokemon. Unfortunately, there's a limited amount of Pokemon there, and there's one gripe I have with this thing. Oh boy, let's get to it. To slowly level up your point system, you're going to be catching Pokemon over and over again, which means you might have a few repeats here and there. And if you're early in the game, you want to get rid of them fast so you don't confuse them with the original Pokemon you capture or the Pokemon that you have named and you don't want to give away. Maybe they're shiny or they have a stats or something. Well, guess what? You cannot release multiple Pokemon. You can only do it one at a time. Why? Only then, and this is stupid, if you capture enough Pokemon to fill 2 boxes, you will have the ability to release multiple Pokemon. And to that I say, why? If we're going to be in a game where we catch a lot of Pokemon, don't lock that out. Don't make it a secret. Have us have that option at the start. It just sounds like padding to me, but near the end of the game, most likely, unless you're doing a Nuzlocke, you'll have enough Pokemon to at least fill out 3 boxes, so minor inconvenience, but still sucks. Moving on from that abomination, you can also take pictures with your Pokemon. It's cute. I didn't really do it much. I really should have done it for thumbnails, but that would have been lazy. If you like taking pictures with your Pokemon, then go ahead. I don't think there's nearly as much options as the one Sun and Moon, but hey, you get what you get and don't throw a fit. And of course, you can change your hairstyle, buy clothes and stuff like that. I picked the ones I got from the pre-order because, I mean, look at that mask. It's beautiful. I might as well mention this now, even though I have not been in the post-game. If you capture every single Pokemon in the entire game, I'm talking all of them, don't worry, they're all in the game. They're pretty hard to find, but it's worth it because you get to fight Arceus, and once you beat him, you capture him. And that's all I'm going to say right now. At the time of this recording, I have not been in the post-game, and I will update all of you with an update video to this review once I be in said post-game to tell you if Arceus is worthy or not. Hi, Future Mr. Galaxy here. I just finally got Arceus. I just want to say he is both the best and worst part about the game. What the hell am I talking about? Okay, let me hear me out. He's the worst part of the game because you can't use him in online battles because there's no online battles in the game. Because he's the best part of the game because he's multi-typed. The first ever multi-typed Pokemon that's not restricted by a hidden ability. That is amazing because for years I thought, how the hell is he supposed to be Jesus if he was a Pokemon if he doesn't even have multiple types? Like, if he really created the entire Pokemon world, then how come he can only use one type at a time? How come his default is normal type? And what they did absolutely blew my mind. It shouldn't really, because it's a simple move, but it blew my mind. So here's how it works. So after you beat Arceus, you get the Legends Plate, which allows you to equip this to Arceus. At face front, it seems pretty useless. Pretty cool that you get an extra plate, but you already got 18 different plates. Why does Arceus need another one? Well, this is where the best part comes in. If you use the move Judgment, he will transform into the type weak to your opponent and just completely annihilate him. And that is awesome. I kind of wish that he would change his type every time he transforms into a new form, but I can see how that can be kind of broken. But then again, we don't have online mode in this game, so give us that instead! Give me online mode! Okay, sorry, I went on right there. Okay, that's all I want to say. Just one other thing on that is... Okay, goodbye. Have a nice day, everybody. Back to the review. But I did want to mention this here because catching Pokemon has more reward than just saying, hey, you did it. here's a certificate. You actually do get something worth the while. You can capture Arceus, so there's that. At least there's something more to the post-game. And speaking of Pokemon, some of them are going to be a lot more tricky to catch. Some of them could be in the space-time distortion, which appears randomly on every single map. I don't know exactly how I should feel about them. I caught some pretty good Pokemon there, but it feels a little bit too random, gimmicky, and luck-based in my opinion. But the one Pokemon I think is going to be the hardest to find, or easiest, depending on who you ask, is Spiritomb. Halfway through the game, you get to talk to a mysterious little girl who tells you about 107 spirits scattered throughout the land of Hisui. If you get them all, you get Spiritomb. As you can tell, there was no footage of me finding Spiritomb because I have not gotten to that point yet. I'm going to do a live stream about it. Maybe I've already done by the time you've seen this video. And that's it! That's all I'm going to say about content. There might be more. Oh wait, there is! You can also re-battle trainers in the village by talking to Indigo, I believe. I think this might be a DLC thing, but I might as well mention this right now, just in case, and if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, and you can ridicule me in the comments down below. And that's the content! Of course, in the post-game, you do get to battle legendary Pokemon as well, and capture them if you want, but other than that, that's a lot of stuff for a Pokemon game. Nowhere near as much as Heart Gold and Soul Silver and Black and White 2, but still pretty meaty. There are also a bunch of quests you can do throughout the game, but it's usually deliver an item to someone, or battle them, or give one Pokemon to someone, and that's pretty much it. Most likely you'll have the Pokemon items that you need for that quest, and I gotta say, whatever you do, do not give up your partner Pokemon when there is one of those quests, because you will not get them back ever. Just be happy with the decision you make. But overall, as a Pokemon fan, I am very happy that there was a lot of stuff to do in this game after you beat the game, but as a video game fan, I wish there was just slightly more to do. But considering the amount of quests we can do and the amount of Pokemon in the game, both old and new, I am satisfied. Especially that they add Pokemon that are really interesting to the game. Like Sneasler, for example, or Dialga and Palkia gained their new form, Hank and Juan. And of course, Genbu has officially turned into a Pokemon with Enormanus, the sister to Tornado, Thundurus, and Landorus. But like all of you, I kinda wish there was every single Pokemon in this game. But if that was the case, this game would be bloated up the butt, and it would be impossible to fill up the Pokédex. So overall, I give gameplay a B rank. Wow, B's all around. Content is next. Okay, normally I would say you get the main story and then you get this and this and this, but I'm actually going to tell you the exact amount of Pokemon moves and stuff there are in Pokemon Legends Arceus. But first, let's get the obvious out of the way. You get the main game and then you get the post game, which if you ask me, the post game has been pretty beefy on the 3D Pokemon standards that's been going around for a while. Ultra Sun and Moon was a step in the right direction. Sun and Moon barely had anything, and Sword and Shield, don't even get me started. That thing spits in your face and expects you not to care. Now that on its own would give itself a C rank, considering that the game and the post game are pretty good, but in total there are about 242 Pokemon, 180 moves, 27 missions, and 94 requests in Pokemon Legends Arceus. Why did I even breathe in that much? It wasn't even that windful. Now, the 24 missions are just the main game, but the 97 requests are there. There's just not much, not hard to do. Like I mentioned in the gameplay part, you'll just fight or give item or give up Pokemon. But considering that Pokemon side quests, there are usually at most, I think, 9 if they're not legendaries. I really like this meaty content in there. Plus, if you beat some of the main story missions here, you can get the Azure Flute in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, which does not affect the score of Legends Arceus, but it does value Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl a bit. Something I forgot in gameplay, but you can also trade with people around the world, but since every single Pokemon are in the game itself, trading is kind of much useless unless you want a faster way to get all your Pokemon to get the Pokédex complete so you can fight Arceus. But there's no battle, please. Online battles, please. I'm sick and tired of fighting Sword and Shield. With that out of the way, content gets a C rank. Nothing more, nothing less. There's still some stuff to do here, but I'm pretty sure that all these missions are pretty easy, which is why the content's not a B rank. Finally, we come to the one thing that complements a video game. The music, the vibes, The things you listen to while you strangle your little brother. Stop strangling your little brother. Legends Arceus takes the Breath of the Wild approach of video games, where the soundtrack is more subtle, but it gets intense when it needs to be. But personal favorite thing has to be Battle versus Trainer. Battle versus a wild Pokémon. Or maybe something more subtle, yet chilly, like Tales of Almighty Sinnoh. How about something heroic and triumphant, like the Galaxy Expedition Headquarters? Or maybe somebody that feels like the impossible, like the almighty Sinnoh showing himself for the first time. Or rather, themselves. Of course, Dialga and Palkia gets a remix theme. Too slow for you? Okay, don't worry, they pick up the beat in the second fight, in their original forms! Beautiful, but what if you want something a little bit more different? What if you want something so dark, so corrupted, so evil, it matches the epicness of Origin Palkia and Dialga's forms, but is so evil that it has to be linked to the devil Pokemon himself? Ladies and gentlemen, I have not encountered this theme yet in my main Let's Play, but I present to you Giratina's theme! Magnifico! Although some of the tracks are practically non-existent in the game when you're roaming around the world or you're just vibing in Jubilee Village, when the game wants to make you hyped, it knows exactly what theme to use. I do wish there were more unique tracks to the game, like maybe giving the Coin Sisters their own theme, or Commando Komodo getting his own theme when you battle him, or Benny getting his battle theme, because they usually just use the default trainer theme, which, don't get me wrong, is a banger, but you know, it just doesn't really fit when it's in a unique character, not like a trainer or a warden fighting you. But overall, I give the soundtrack to Pokemon Legends Arceus a C rank. Man, I'm scoring you a B rank. It is one of those games where it does not require a lot of music, but I do wish there was more unique themes. Besides, sometimes you can hear the old tracks remixed in modern era, like Eternal Forest. And it's those subtle moments like that when you're in a random area and you hear the theme from the game, you're like, oh, it's this location, it's that location. It's what brought me up from a C rank to a B rank. Side note, this is not part of the review or anything, but I just want to mention how well Pokemon's been knocking out of the park with these musics lately. Like, ever since they went 3D, they do not pull any punches of some of the music, especially some of the bosses like Lysander's theme. Ultra Necrozma's theme. And hell, I'll give a drop of credit to Sword and Shield. Eternatus' Phase 3 theme is awesome. Just goes to show that no matter how good or bad a Pokemon game is, they're always gonna have banger music. Even though this is not the open world Pokemon game that we all wanted to see, this game more than makes up for it with its interesting ideas, brand new fun characters, an old one, and of course, finally allowing us to capture Arceus just in general. If you're a filthy American. But there's one thing I have to criticize is that we don't know much about Arceus unless you dig deeper into the game. I can only assume that you learn more about him in the post games and stuff like that, but even so, why keep Arceus' information a post game thing? I don't think they mention Arceus throughout the entire game. I mean, they say the almighty Sinnoh, but they're thinking about Dialga and Palkia. He just shows up at the beginning of the game, and next thing you know, you never see him ever again. That side, I had more fun in this game than I did with Sword and Shield. When I first played Sword and Shield, I had some fun, but I generally felt like something was missing, or they could expand that more, or they should have made this gym a lot easier, or a lot harder, or just longer routes in general. But with Legends Arceus, not one of those thoughts popped into my head. Every second I spent in this game, I generally had fun. I didn't think about mechanics and stuff until I started reading the script. I thought of what Pokemon do I want to catch, what do I want to add to my team, what moves do I want to add on, and how strong do I have to be to fight the final boss. And most importantly, which Pokemon should I pick to be the main antagonist, Dialga or Palkia? Obviously, I picked Dialga to be the hero and Palkia to be the villain because I'm playing Brilliant Diamond, and you know, Palkia being the villain just kind of makes sense in Shining Pearl. However, like I mentioned in this review, there are some faults to this game, which you can overlook if you just want to just play for a little bit before you get back to your job and stuff like that, but it does stick out like a sore thumb. It makes me feel like this game is not worth $60, at most 50 or 40. Even so, it's still a quality Pokemon experience, especially the crap that we got last year with Sword and Shield. Wait a second, what? Sword and Shield came out 2 years ago? Which is why I'm giving this a B rank. If you see this in your store, definitely check it out. You will not be disappointed. I'm Miss Guys the Cat, and this has been my review of Pokemon Legends Arceus. Did you find this review helpful to get your thoughts together on Pokemon Legends Arceus, or did I convince you to buy the game? Or was this review so bad that you found this laughingly enjoyable, or you just want to make fun of it in general? I'm glad you stopped by to look at my review of Pokemon Legends Arceus. I did not mean for the video to go over 36 minutes long. I spent way too much time talking about the gameplay, but that just means it's a very good game. Although I do wish that it was a truly open world Pokemon games, and there were small towns here and there, which, you know, are just campsites and stuff like that, that slowly turn into the buildings you see in the Sinnoh games, which the only one you see is Jubilee Village. Yes, there are the Diamond and Pearl clans, but I don't know what cities they're gonna form into, or if they form into cities at all. But that aside, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like what you saw, let me know in the comments down below by saying that like button to another dimension. I'm Miss Guys the Cat, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, members of Team Shadow. Please never stay catty. Live life your own way. Stay safe during these trying times, and I'll see you all in our castle. Until next time, Adieu, everybody.
How come the video's still playing? Oh no! He forgot to talk about the totem Pokemon! Okay, I'll do it! Right here. Okay. Didn't know Mr. Galaxy uses scripts. The totem Pokemon, the gym leaders of the game, and there were 5 of them in total. Each one of them attacks you with a barrage of attacks, but they're pretty easy to dodge. That kind of feels like a kiddie version of Dark Souls, which if you know anything about Dark Souls, it's kind of tough to do. The only method of attacking is bombs, which I like to call weed! Weed! How many E's did he put in this script? It's really fun and challenging throwing these bombs at them, but it does get a little bit boring every now and then, which is why some of the attacks are fun to dodge, and most of the time, if you hit them successfully, they will get dizzy, allowing you to send in a Pokemon to fight them. The Pokemon battles are pretty easy, but expect to have at least 3 Pokemon knocked out. Overall, I really like these boss battles. These noble Pokemon really reminded me of the totem Pokemon from Pokemon Sun and Moon, implying that some of these Pokemon move to Alola. Huh? Implying that they move to Alola? Okay, I've not played either of those games, but something doesn't really add up here. It's a fact to back this up. I guess maybe some of the Alpha Pokemon could have probably swam away to Alola, but that's a stretch even for this ghost. Huh?
What are you recording?